Hello everyone. I'm just going to have time for a real quick scope today. And we're going to talk about how to lose weight or maintain on 3 meals a day. How is everyone doing today? I've been hiking all day, actually all week. So I'm just getting back today and we have pizza in the oven and I'm going to come on and do a quick scope. And my name is Barb Ravling. I blog about weight loss and the renewing of the mind and also breaking habits, starting habits, and reaching goals at barbravling.com. And I have a couple of Bible studies on weight loss, if you're interested in that. But one of the things I talk about in the Bible study is boundaries, how if we want to maintain our weight, we have to have lifelong boundaries. So we can't just go on a diet, lose the weight, and then go back to eating whatever we want, whenever we want. Because although that might be kind of fun, if we do that, we'll just gain our weight back. So there are different lifelong boundaries you can have. The boundaries I have are 3 meals a day. And back when I was a little younger, I had 3 meals and 1 snack a day. But now that I'm older, I can't eat as much. And so now I'm down to 3 meals a day. So if you guys want to do this talk will be how to lose weight on either 3 meals or 3 meals and 1 snack, 3 meals and 2 snacks, whatever you decide is the right amount for you. So thank you for everybody who's joining. And I have 6 tips that you can follow if you want to use those boundaries. I do eat sweets. When I was breaking free from the control of food, I gave up sweets for a long time. I'm not quite sure how long, but maybe a year or 2, except for fruit-based sweets. But now I can have sweets in the house and I can eat them with control. And so I'll usually have, I usually won't have any sweets unless it's a social occasion until after dinner. So I'll have a scoop of ice cream at night. So I do allow myself sweets. But when I was learning how to break free, since I didn't have great control with them, I gave them up. But I know some people kind of like having sweets and they'd have a hard time giving them up. They'd probably eat more if they gave them up. So that's something that each person would have to consider what's best for them. But the first tip I have, if you want to lose or maintain weight on 3 meals a day, is not to eat even 1 bite outside of your boundaries. Okay? I find that I don't get into any trouble and I don't gain any weight as long as I make sure I follow my boundaries. But when I start thinking, oh, I'll just have a little cookie or I'll just have a little bite of this, it's pretty easy. It's usually that 1 extra little snack that makes me start gaining weight. And the problem with eating 1 bite outside of our boundaries is we start feeling like a failure right away. And you know what happens when we start feeling like a failure? A lot of times we start eating. So that's an important tip. I would if I'm going on 3 meals a day and I'm just getting established in the habit, I would renew my mind every time I ate even 1 bite out beyond the 3 meals a day. Okay, and that would help me stick to my boundaries the rest of the day. Okay, another rule I have is no second helpings. So whatever meal we're having, I kind of eyeball all the food and I think what would be a good amount and I put that on my plate and that's what I eat. Okay, every once in a while I'll plan for second helpings. So like if I think, okay, I'm not sure if I want 1 piece of pizza or 2 pieces of pizza, then I'll say, I'm going to have 1 piece of pizza, but if I'm still hungry, I'll be able to have 2. But I never say, okay, I think 2 is the right amount, and then afterwards say, oh, I think I'll have a couple more. If I do that, I would renew my mind right away. Okay, so that's that. The third tip is changing the way we think, because couldn't you guys see if you had 3 meals a day and if every meal you ate as much as you possibly could, that you probably wouldn't maintain your weight or lose weight, right? So we can't have that mentality for this to work. So I would say focus on not how much can I eat, but how little can I get by on to satisfy myself until the next meal. So that's the kind of mentality you're going to have to shift into, especially if you're going to try and lose weight on this. You'd really have to have that how little can I get by on sort of mentality. Okay, not to the anorexic stage. You don't want to go anorexic. But just so that you might ask yourself, okay, if I were trying to lose weight, how little would I eat? That might give you a little ballpark of how much is the right amount to eat. Another thing you could ask is, how much would I need to eat if I wanted to be hungry by the next meal? Because remember how yesterday we were talking about hunger, satisfied eating with Heidi, and that's what those guys do. they eat when they're hungry, but they stop before, either when they're just slightly full or before that point. So they kind of have that attitude of how little can I get by on. Okay, let's see. Another consideration is consider adding this boundary. This is the boundary I have, because remember, I only have 3 meals a day, and I want to make my boundaries fit just regular life. And in regular life, every once in a while, sometimes somebody will call and say, hey, Barb, you want to go to the bakery? I want to be able to have a snack. So my boundaries are 3 meals a day, 1 snack if it's a social occasion, or if I'm really hungry. So if I'm really hungry, I will have a small snack, but normally I'm not hungry. So I put that stipulation. I can only have the snack if I'm super hungry, or if it's a social occasion and I can't call a friend and initiate the social occasion just to get the treat, right? So I can't say, oh, I really feel like ice cream today. Who can I call? So I don't break my boundaries. I don't do that. And I also don't count like my husband being home and I go eat some little food beside him. I can't count that either as a social occasion. So a real, true, bona fide social occasion. Okay, and the last one, yeah, loophole. Okay, the last tip I have, if you're trying to lose weight in 3 meals a day or maintain, is if you have a high-calorie meal, try and balance it with a low-calorie meal. So if I know that I'm going to have, let's say, meat and potatoes and rhubarb pie for dinner with ice cream, well, then I'd probably want soup for lunch or something pretty small for lunch, because that's going to be a pretty high-calorie dinner. So that's pretty much what I do. Does anybody have any questions about that? It is one of those things, if you're not careful, you can gain weight on. But usually if I'm sticking really closely to my boundaries and not having any snacks, I don't have to worry about gaining weight. So I think our pizza's just about out of the oven. So unless anybody has any snacks, I'll say goodnight to you guys. I hope you have a great night of following your boundaries. I hope you have a really fun weekend and have a good weekend of following your boundaries. Now, if you struggle with weekends, try and get up tomorrow morning, renew your mind at lunch if you can, so you can try and make it through the weekend. Thanks, Karina. How are you doing? Anyway, hope you guys have a great weekend. Hi, Lenore. And yeah, I'll have a good weekend too. We'll talk to you guys later. Goodbye.